Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man. See here. Before we get started, I just want to say great 49ers win today over the Dallas Cowboys, our first playoff win since the 2019 to 2021 season. And yeah, get your official licensed Niners gear by using our affiliate link. You save 10% off and it helps out our show. And here it is down on the bottom. And go to cgiant.com, use the promo code Niners Faithful Radio to save on all concert, theater, and sporting events. Let's get it, baby. Go to www.ninersfaithfulradio.com/subscribe to see everywhere you can find the show. Follow us on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Niners Faithful Radio, and on Twitter, Niners Faithful R. And let's go. You can hear my excitement, I hope. Uh, like I said, first playoff win from the 49ers since that 2019 to 2021 season. And I'm stoked. Um, and just in a bit here, I'm going to go ahead and go over the game and I'm going to go over the stats as well. Um, let's go. Let's pull up CBS Sports because ESPN gives me bad stats. Okay, so I'm gonna go over the box score. Okay, the box score doesn't give the whole analysis of the game, um, but I still like this a lot. So Jimmy Garoppolo went 16 for 25 for 172 yards, no touchdowns and one interception from him. Elijah Mitchell with 27 attempts, 96 yards, one touchdown. Debo Samuel with 10 carries, 72 yards, one touchdown as well. And as a whole unit, we ran the ball 38 times for 169 yards. And that is great because coming into this game, people were bragging how Dallas had a really good front seven, but I'm not going to count it. We have two all pros on our offense, and I really like this. So Brandon Ayuk had 6 targets, 5 receptions for 66 yards. Debo Samuel had 3 targets, 3 receptions, 38 yards. And Jawan Jennings had 5 targets, 3 receptions, 29 yards. George Kittle had 3 targets, 1 yard, 1 yard, 1 reception, 18 yards. Travis Benjamin had 1 target, 1 catch, and 17 yards. Kyle Juszczyk had 3 targets, 2 receptions, 15 yards. Trent Sherfield had 2 targets, 0 receptions. And Elijah Mitchell had 2 receptions, 1 reception, 2 targets. Sorry about that. For takeaways today, the 49ers had 1 interception, Kwan Williams, and ended up setting a first play Debo Samuel touchdown for more than 20 yards, I believe it was. But yeah, it was such a great designed run, and yeah. And now for the defense, we had a really good time stopping the Dallas run game, and we, I would say, let me see here. So Dallas as a unit, they only rushed for 77 yards, and um, Dak Prescott had a 27-yard carry carry on the last play. Um, so it wasn't really much. Um, and this front seven is just great. But talking about the front seven, Nick Bosa did leave the game with a head injury. I believe it was third quarter. Uh, I'm not sure if it's a concussion or I'm not really sure about it. It wasn't talked as much as it needed to be. I think they only brought it up twice in today's game. But um, also, Fred Warner was shaken up after a tackle. I think he just rolled his ankle. It looked like he was getting ready to go back in the game. It was just the last drive that he was trying to enter the game, but ended up didn't enter because of the 49ers stopping Dallas. Um, but yeah, let me talk first quarter and then second quarter and then third quarter and fourth. So 49ers started off strong. The first three drives, an opening touchdown to Elijah Mitchell, and the run game was going great, even through the third and fourth drive. And then the second, 49ers went to the Dallas side of the field, let's just say, and just kicked the Robbie Gold field goal. And the same thing happened next drive. I believe 49ers had a good field position and then just couldn't capitalize it. And that's when I wanted the 49ers to make sure they capitalize that because you have great field position and this is playoffs. And I wanted the 49ers to execute at that state, but they didn't. And then after that, Dallas just never had anything rolling for them. And I believe they went 3 and out a couple times after the 49ers. Uh, three possessions scoring wise, and what's yeah. Uh, I don't think this. Let's see here. Um, so yeah, it was Dallas who scored a touchdown. Dak Prescott threw a deep ball to Amari Cooper for a 20-yard touchdown. Uh, and then the next scoring possession, it was a field goal from Robbie Gold, 52-yard kick. And Robbie Gold was good as gold today. Uh, and then in the third quarter, Dak, like I said earlier, Dak did throw that interception. But before that was the key um, plays to set up that specific play. Um, Dallas just had multiple penalties, and it really hurts them because the 49ers already know that they need something overhead. So, and the likes of Samsung and Eric Armstead, even DJ Jones today, played phenomenal. And and then after that, Dak Prescott, he tried to give it to their receiver number one, Wilson, and just threw kind of a bad ball to the outside. And K1 was able to pick that off quickly. And great play from K1. He was recognizing the ball. He wasn't playing the player, he was playing the ball. And that's why he was able to get the interception. And just one play, that's it. The 49ers ran um, an outside run, but Debo cut it back inside. But the key was to get Brandon Ayuk. Um, they essentially called him from a motion, which moved their linebacker 55, Landerish. I can't pronounce his name right. He moved out with Brandon Ayuk, and once Debo saw that, he was able to cut it back inside and just was. You're not gonna tackle Debo when he's already 15 to 20 yards close to the end zone. It's just great, great awareness from Debo, and really executed well from the 49ers. And yeah, and then after that, um, fourth quarter, uh, this field goal from Greg Zerline was 51 yards, and he's been inconsistent for the Dallas Cowboys. And most of us thought that they were going to go for it. But the plays before that, the 49ers were able to sack Dak Prescott twice, and they had a fourth down and short. I think it was like two or three. And they brought on their punting unit, and as if they were punting, and then Josh Norman didn't recognize it, and their punter just threw it right over him. And the Dallas Cowboys ended up getting that first down again, which, like I said, ended up in Greg Zerline field goal. And after that, um, Jimmy Garoppolo threw a bad ball. But first, what ended up happening was it was a bad protection, pass protection. I think it was the guard Brunskill. No, yeah, I think it was Brunskill led up. I think it was I, I, I forgot which player it was, but he ended up releasing him, and Jimmy Garoppolo had to escape to his right and just forced the ball to. I think it was to Trent Sherfield, and he just threw him. It was a high ball, and um, the Dallas corner picked it off. 30 Brown, and that ended up making a Dallas touchdown to um, it was a scoring drive. My bad. Um, it was Dak. He there was too much pressure, and so he had to force it out and then just run it all the way in. And that was that was the drive that Fred Warner, I believe, he got hurt, and it's just bad news for the 49ers. I hope um, Nick Bosa and Fred can come back. They're just great players that the 49ers need. They're essentially big leaders. And yeah. So I want to talk about this because um, the 49ers weren't favorites to win. So in today's game against the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys, um, people thought that essentially people who bet on games, they were 53 favor bets that the Dallas Cowboys were going to lose 3.5 points or less. And then 47% people thought that the San Francisco 49ers were going to win 3.5 or more. And obviously the game was 23-17. So if you got that 47%, you got your money. and and then today's money line was San Francisco getting 153, I believe, rushing or passing. I'm not sure. 41% of people agreed for the 49ers, and they got their money's worth because they won it. And Dallas Cowboys was 59%. So, like I said, um, the earnings on this one, and this one changes from 50.5 for the Niners over or under. 38% of people thought it was the 49ers, and then 62% thought it was the Dallas Cowboys. And if you picked the Dallas Cowboys, you essentially got your money. And um, let me see here. I'm trying to pull up the analytics side of it. Let me read this article right here. In Arlington, Texans, things didn't go as planned for the Dallas Cowboys, and their goal of staving of an upset of the NFL Super Wild Card Weekend, losing 23-17 in a throwback matchup against the San Francisco 49ers. Despite in early troubles, Dallas still had a chance at the end of the game, but a wild card sequence concluded with time running out on Dak Prescott on the Dallas Cowboys, which I forgot to mention. The 49ers directed the Cowboys with surgical precision in route scoring on the opening possession on the game, and all that Prescott and co and company could muster and reply was a 3-point three and out. Sorry, it was yet another promising possession for Jimmy Garoppolo and his offense. Thereafter, but we're held just for a field goal. I already went over this. I'm just gonna talk about the last drive. Um, If you were hearing the announcements, you could hear Tony Romo specifically stating that the 49ers should just bring corners on the outside of the perimeter. So um, we could held the Dallas Cowboys to staying in bounds, and after that, the game's over. Um, and it started with Dak finding number one Wilson, and then just pitching it back to Tony Pollard, who managed to get out of bounds. And then after that, it was another completion, I think, to CD Lamb, and he was able to get out of bounds as well. And then the 49ers were essentially moving some defensive linemen in and out, and they had 12 men on the field, so they quickly called the timeout. And that's when D'Amico's defense adjusted to what Tony Roman had suggested for the 49ers to do, and was to bring some corners outside, and they essentially brought Jerry Greenlaw and Aziz on the outside, and so is Iman and Ambry on the outside for the perimeters. And um, I guess this was a play call, a good play call, I guess. But Dak was ended up um, just running for a 23-yard gain, but they couldn't clock the ball because they didn't have the referee grab the ball first, because that's an NFL rule, and they just weren't prepared for that, and ended up costing them the game. They snapped it 1 second late, and if they would have snapped it, um, and they spiked it, and they could have had another chance to get a ball to the end zone, and taking a 1 point lead with an extra point. Uh, but yeah, it was just great defensive play today. Um, I the 49ers dominated this game. The scoreboard should have been more. I would say it would have been. We should have at least put 30 on the Dallas Cowboys. But I mean, we didn't, and that's the point. And s- when when Dallas did score, I mean, the 49ers weren't like in this state, like where they were shook. Um, I, I mean, like I said, the last touchdown was Dak's go ahead and score it in touchdown, him running it. But that didn't even that set it up from an interception from Jimmy Garoppolo on the 49ers side. So really, if I would say Jimmy Garoppolo, if he didn't throw that interception, um, I think it wouldn't have come down to last drive from Dallas. I would say, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna say Jimmy Garoppolo almost cost us the game because I I, I can't say that. I mean, I can, but it's just not. But talking about Jimmy Garoppolo, I think those are the only two mistakes that he had. Three, I would say he only had three mistakes. Um, just throwing a bad ball, and then almost getting interception from off the tip, and then a just a horrible ball placement from Brandon Ayuk who burnt Trayvon Diggs, and it was just a good route from Brandon Ayuk, and he just barely overthrew him. Brandon Ayuk almost came down with it, and I would say that's bad, really bad ball. Um, if he would hit Brandon, I think it wouldn't have, like I said, it wouldn't have come down to Dallas on the last drive. But um, also the interception as well. I mean, he did have pressure, so he had escaped to his right and overthrew Trent Sherfield on a bad ball. Um, but I don't know. I think he still made some great plays. Some really good throws from Brandon Ayuk, and yeah. And for Elijah Mitchell, I mean, he did his thing. Great help from the offensive lineman, and he's just a really tough guy to bring down. After the contact, he's really good, and I would say he's one of the best in the leagues after contact. And for the receivers, Brendan Ayuk and Debo Samuel added again. Even Jawan Jennings, just a really good third down receiver. And yeah, I just I just like um, the connection Jawan Jennings and the third down situations because essentially Dallas's defense is too worried about the Kittle or the Ayuk or Debo, and it just leaves Jawan, you know, two steps ahead of making a great play, and he delivers, and then the offensive line mostly held up. They had some pressures, and I think they sacked Jimmy twice, once or twice, I believe, and um, yeah, I think that. And then for defense, corners, I mean, they held up, not allowing CD Lamb to get opportunities. I think he only caught like two balls, and then um, just I think it was also the tight ends who were for the Dallas. There, he's a good route runner. Gets separation pretty quickly, and for the corners, they did a great job, I believe. And yeah, for the safety and free safety, Tar and Jimmy Ward, they played good. They were getting in the blitz action as well. This one play, Jimmy Ward hit Dak pretty hard, and it forced a bad ball. And yeah, good stuff from them. And like I said, I forgot to mention K1, like the K1 interception that really helped the 49ers get a touchdown. And the linebackers played good today. Joey Greenlaw just playing like a beast. One thing that did call my eye was this is the second time that these three, Fred, Joey Greenlaw, and Aziz, has played together this season, and you could definitely see the difference when it's one guy missing or two guys missing, and this is really good. This is a really good linebacker core, and doesn't get better than that, I believe. And for the defensive lineman, 5 sacks today. DJ Jones had one. Nick Bosa had one in the first drive. And let me try to pull it up right here. Um, I'm on Dallas' side. Touchdown, fumble loss, interception. Okay, so DJ Jones had one. Um, Samson Ebicon had half a sack, and the acquired defensive end from the Texans had 1 sack and a half, and Kevin Givens had half a sack, and Nick Bosa had half a sack. And that is it. So yeah, um, so it is a Niners win. So got to give 3 game balls to specific players or coaches, and um, today is a playoff, win. So it's well deserving to these players. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Debo Samuel. He played great, running it, receiving wise, just playing great. And game ball number 2 goes to D'Amico Ryans. He had great strategy to stop the Dallas Cowboys. I think they just had some momentum at the end, and I don't think it's um, I think it was just a great game strategy from D'Amico. And game ball number 3 goes to Kyle Shanahan, who is just drawing up plays like he's some type of maniac, and like in his bedroom, just making these XO type of plays. Um, I would say the last drive from the 49ers, that was really creative from Kyle's part, just flipping it to Debo. Dallas didn't see it. He almost got that first down, and that would have been the game sealer right there. But he was inch inch close. And yeah. But that would be it for this playoff special post game show. Um, I'm Brian Jimenez, and I'm tuning out of this wild card game. And I'll see you guys next week. We got the Packers, baby. Let's go.